Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today we continue our series building decks led by creatures from the Final Fantasy set. Leading today's deck is none other than Sid, Timeless Artificer. All 15 versions of him. Also, and I know it's annoying to keep hearing this, but statistically if I don't ask you to like and subscribe, the video gets fewer subscribers. Sid, Timeless Artificer is a 4-mana 4/4 legendary human artificer who gives creatures and heroes we control +1/+1 for each artificer we control and each artificer card in our graveyard. A deck can have any number of cards named Sid, Timeless Artificer. We may also pay a white and a blue to cycle Sid. Sid has been in every Final Fantasy game except the first one. There are 5 things that make a Final Fantasy game: crystals, chocobos, moogles, airships, and Sid. In some of the games, Sid is a playable character, but in most of them, he's a supportive NPC, and often has something to do with airships, but not always. Let's go through each of them and discuss his role and character, without spoiling too much, hopefully. In Final Fantasy II, Sid is a sky pirate who gives us rides in his airship. I say gives, what I mean is he charges us until he too is embroiled in the war with the Empire, and then he lets us have access to it. In Final Fantasy III, Sid is an inventor who we help to save. We borrow his airship on the promise that we'll return and defeat the djinn who has cursed the town, allowing him to return home to his wife. In Final Fantasy IV, Sid is a sometime playable character who was the inventor behind the airships. He's a tough old man who survives a massive explosion that he himself set off, and is well loved. In Final Fantasy V, Sid is a scholar who researches the crystals. He gets distracted and we have to go rescue him from the stacks in the back of the library, but once his grandson Mid smacks him around a bit, he helps us to stop the crystals from losing their power, and the world ending. In Final Fantasy VI, Sid is a Magitech researcher who created both Kefka and Celeste. In Final Fantasy VII, Sid is a chain-smoking, spear-wielding inventor who created and pilots the airship. Final Fantasy VIII is centered around a school that is also a massive ship, and Sid is the headmaster of that school. Final Fantasy IX, with its theme of returning to tradition, sees Sid not only as the regent of a kingdom, but also once again an airship inventor/engineer. In Final Fantasy X, Sid is the captain of the airship Fahrenheit, as well as Riku's father. In Final Fantasy XI, Sid is an important NPC with a laboratory/blacksmith shop in the Republic of Bastok. He plays a key role in many quests, but we're not getting into spoiler territory. Okay, I lied. This next one is a spoiler. In Final Fantasy XII, Sid is the main villain. In fact, this version of Sid is the only villainous Sid in all of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy XIII sees the youngest Sid in the series, but then again, all the characters in 13 are young and hot. Final Fantasy XIV Sid is a silver fox and cutestuff's favorite character in the game. Final Fantasy XV Sid is a mechanic who helps us maintain and upgrade our problematic car, eventually adding flying to it. And finally, Final Fantasy XVI Sid is a science-driven individual who is also a dominant. The power of the lightning aspected Ramuh sleeps within him. So this deck will have all the Sids in it. Now, Sid is currently about $5, so running 15 of them will cost us about $75. So, this deck will not be budget. I do apologize to your wallet. But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. If you're planning on building a deck led by one of the spaced-out commanders from Edge of Eternities, you should probably get one of these lovely new Squaros boulders, featuring characters from the delightful animated series Star Trek Lower Decks. You can collect all of them, like this one, featuring Tiana. Pick yours up to date at your local game store, or order them online from Amazon. Click the link down below to go to Ultimate Guard's Amazon store. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Oh, one more quick announcement before we get started. I'm currently streaming over on Gaming with Danon as well as Twitch. It'll mostly be Final Fantasy XIV, but you're more than welcome to pop in and talk about Commander. Honestly, about half my streams are talking about manga, anime, or Commander. Our land base consists of Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Flooded Strand, Windswept Heath, Polluted Delta, Arid Mesa, Scalding Tarn, Hallowed Fountain, Sea of Clouds, Deserted Beach, Glacial Fortress, Meticulous Archive, Glacial Floodplain, Idyllic Beachfront, Prairie Stream, Irrigated Farmland, Flood Farm Verge, Mystic Gate, Adarkar Wastes, Hengegate Pathway, Port Town, Azorius Chancery, Scavenger Grounds, Uthros Titanic God Core, 6 Plains, and 6 Islands. Not exactly budget, but not too expensive either. For mana ramp, we're running Solemn Simulacrum, Burnished Heart, Gold Mirror, Silver Mirror, Vidalcan Engineer, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Progress, Azorius Signet, Mind Stone, Felwar Stone, Thrawn Dynamo, and Decanter of Endless Water. Mostly staples, but also some mana dorks that are also artifact creatures. Our card advantage package consists of Psi Master Thopterist, Low Shield Clockwork Scholar, Thought Monitor, Thoughtcast, Esper Sentinel, Hannah Ship's Navigator, Emery Lurker of the Loch, The Reality Chip, Research Thief, Rhystic Study, and Enlightened Tutor. Wanted at least one tutor in the deck. For interaction and spot removal, we've got Meteor Golem, Commit Memory, Riptide Gearhulk, Angel of the Ruins, Dispatch, Generous Gift, Dovin's Veto, Negate, Counterspell, and Disenchant. I love the idea of destroying someone's commander with a Meteor Golem, and then beating them to death with it. Our board wipes consist of Cyclonic Rift and Farewell. Straightforward and powerful. The core of our deck consists of Thopter Spy Network, Urza Prince of Krug, Mechanized Production, Champions from Beyond, Master Transmuter, Mirror-Smith, Memory Guardian, Threefold Thunderhulk, Cyberdrive Awakener, Illustrious Wonderglyph, Blade Splicer, and Whirler Rogue. Supporting our plan, we've also got Mirror Box and Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. Wait a minute, Dana, is this a combo deck? Just hold your horses, dear viewer. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 48 mana sources split between 35 lands and 13 pieces of ramp. A little light, I know, but our curve is low, so it's fine. 11 pieces of card advantage, 10 pieces of interaction, 2 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Commit Memory and Scavenger Grounds, 2 Sudden I Win cards in Mirror Box and Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. Now, obviously, WotC wants us to cycle Sid, draw new cards, fill our graveyard full of Sids while keeping one on board. If we have 3 Sids in the graveyard and 1 on the battlefield, each of our artifact creatures and heroes get +4/+4. But if we have 2 Sids on the battlefield and 2 in the graveyard, the same total number of Sids, each of our heroes and artifact creatures get +8/+8. Let's read Sid again. Artifact creatures and heroes we control get +1/+1 for each Artificer we control and each Artificer card in our graveyard. Each of them gives that ability, and they see each other as well as themselves, which means each of them gives the buff. So if we're looking at the same example and all 4 of our Sids are on the battlefield, Meteor Golem gets +16/+16. And that is why Mirror Box and Sakashima of 1,000 Faces are key victory pieces. Are you building a Sid Timeless Artificer commander deck? What's your secret deck? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Alix, Borgie, Nazwin Conga, Robert Pye, Kazaris, Patrick, Tiz, Art, Richard Sint, Boomy, Osira, Justin, Golden Walker, Captain Hammer, Yori, and Sleech. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.